guys, welcome back to my channel. So last night was a new episode of Walking Dead and it kind of left people with their jaws open, with tears in their eyes, and I decided, you know what, let's just get on here, let's make a video, let's chit chat about it, because I feel like we all just need to go through some like therapy after last night's episode. So first off, if you have not seen last night's episode of The Walking Dead, the third episode of season 6, then do not watch any further because I will spoil it for you, and I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't want that on my conscience. Just stop, go watch it, then come back and we can chat about it. Okay, so just like a recap of what's happened, this is the third episode of the season. I actually really like this season so far, except for the little part of last night, but I like this season so far because there's action, it's happening, things are going. I get really bored in the episodes where they're just kind of like filler episodes, or you know, they're telling a story to lead up to this bigger episode, and I know that those are necessary at times. I just get kind of bored. I like the action, the adventure. So far it's been pretty good. I also like how they have done the kind of like back and forth, like 3 episodes, and they've kind of only covered about the span of like an hour, 2 hours maybe, but it's different groups' perspectives of what's happened during this time. So the first episode, it showed that they had been bringing these walkers to an area to keep them all together, and there was hundreds of them, and their barriers were breaking, and it was just going to be a hot mess if these walkers got out. So Rick came up with a plan to move the walkers to a different location, I guess, and so that's what his group left Alexandria, or they made a group, left Alexandria, and they were moving, in the process of moving this horde of walkers to a different location, and all of a sudden a horn blows and it's loud, and that starts attracting half of this horde of walkers towards this horn, which happens to be towards Alexandria, the town where everybody's been living. So that kind of is like, oh, what are we gonna do? So that was kind of the first episode, a very quick recap of the first episode. The second episode was what was happening at Alexandria at the time. They were kind of just going along with their normal day. Carol's baking a casserole, and then all of a sudden it went from like 0 to 100 in like less than a second. She put a casserole in the oven, looked out her window, and all of a sudden a lady just gets like stabbed in the back. So these people are, you know, in Alexandria having their good old time, and then these wolves who we met in last season, kind of really bad people, they have gotten into Alexandria and they're just killing the people of Alexandria for no reason. I guess they want their supplies or whatever. And so Carol switches from happy, homey wife, grandma into killer, and I was kind of happy about that. I missed, you know, that side of Carol, and I bet she was too, because I think she was probably getting a little antsy sitting in her house. So she goes off and she starts killing these people, and Morgan doesn't want to kill him. He wants them just to leave, and so he's telling people, you gotta leave or my people are gonna kill you. And then this truck hits the wall, or like a bell tower thing, and that's where the horn comes in to play. And so now you have walkers, tons of walkers heading towards Alexandria, and that's kind of where they left it. So last night's episode, again, was very fast-paced, very action-filled. It was back to the group that was leading the horde off to a different location, and so I guess Rick goes off and runs and tries to find an RV, and he is running. He is booking it. And I told Michael this my husband, while we were watching. I was like, dang, he needs a Fitbit, because he is just like calculating so many steps. Anyway, so he's off trying to save them, and he tells the rest of them to go back to Alexandria and help. And this group, of course, we lose a couple people, but they're no-name people. They're, from Alexandria. We don't really need them. They kind of say something jerkish or do something stupid, and they're gone. One guy ran off, and before he ran off, he was trying to shoot a zombie, shot somebody else in the leg, so now you have him limping around. Another girl rolled her ankle as she was running, so now you have two Limpy McLimpersons running with you, which is totally slowing you down. But the two limps and Michonne and Glenn and Nicholas, and I think the guy's name is Heath, the black guy with the dreads. I think his name is Heath, maybe? I don't know. Comment down below if I'm wrong. But they're trying to make it back to Alexandria, and they stop in this town to see if there's a car so they can make it faster. And there's no car, and as they're looking, zombies are coming. Walkers are coming. And so they hide out in a pet shop, and they just go through this whole thing, a little bit of emotion. Glenn has this idea to run off and burn a building down and attract the walkers to that location. So him and Nicholas go off and try to make this happen, and they're looking around, and the building that they wanted to burn down has already been burnt down. And so they look around, and there's walkers coming from this way, there's walkers coming from this way, every which way, and they're like, that's kind of like an oh crap moment. The other ones, the ones that were with Michonne, they start trying to make it back to Alexandria. Of course, they lose the girl that rolled her ankle. She fell and couldn't keep up, and she got, they ate her, the walkers ate her. And then another guy was trying to climb a fence and they hurt him. So now it's just down to 3 of them, and they eventually make it back to Alexandria. But back to Glenn and Nicholas, which is really the whole point of this video, the whole point of why people need therapy after last night's episode. So they're trying to fight off these walkers. There's really nowhere to go, and Glenn and Nicholas step up onto a dumpster, and they're like shooting, and they get their knives out, and it's just, they're doomed because there are just hundreds of walkers coming towards them. And Nicholas, we already know that he's a little bit of a loose cannon. He's a little bit crazy, and he is just losing it. He's just looking around. He doesn't know. I think he's freaking out. He turns to Glenn and points a gun at his own head and shoots himself, and Glenn kind of catches him, and they fall into the walkers. The walkers just go on top of them and start eating, and you see blood and guts, and this is when everybody's like has tears in their eyes and their jaws open because they're like, no, Glenn, come back. Yes. So they made it appear that Glenn died at the end of the episode, which is very sad. He's been on the show since, like, I think the first episode, and he's a fan favorite, and so I saw people very angry. Me, personally, after reading things on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, I am in denial, and maybe that is just me working through the stages of grief. I don't know, but I am in denial. I do not think Glenn is dead. I don't know how he survived what happened. I don't know. It's going to be a miracle. But I choose to believe that miracles can happen, and he is going to make it out. So on the internet, there's a few different theories of people that think that Glenn made it out, and there's a few different theories of how he did it. One is that when they fell, Nicholas fell on top of him, and those guts you see are Nick's because they're too high up to be Glenn's. And so they're eating him, and the theory is that Glenn, while they're eating Nick, Glenn slides under the dumpster and I guess waits it out. I don't know. The other theory is that when they jumped up on the dumpster, they were shooting their guns, and it appeared that their guns had run out of bullets. So how did Nick have a bullet to shoot himself in the head? So some people believe that it was a hallucination and that it didn't really happen. This was just in Nick's mind that he shot himself and they fell down. So yeah, I don't know if I believe either one of those. I'm not for sure. The one reason that makes me think he's still alive, is the Talking Dead, the after show, that they do like an in memorial, in memory of everybody that dies in that week's episode, including walkers. They show him in this little scene, and they did not show Glenn, so that gives me hope that maybe he didn't die. He also wasn't on the show, and a lot of times when a main character dies on the show, they have him on Talking Dead to talk about it. Somebody posted a video and they showed Nick in the in memory thing, and then after they just said, please don't be true, please don't be true, please don't be true. So I'm holding out hope that Glenn is not dead. I choose not to believe that he is, and I am for sure in denial. And so yeah, so comment down below with what you think. Do you think Glenn is dead, or do you think Glenn is gonna somehow miraculously make it out of that mess alive? Comment down below. Those were my thoughts. I thought it would just be fun to kind of share them and tell you guys what I thought about this week's episode, this season so far. Maybe I'll make more. Maybe when we find out what actually happened to Glenn, I will come back and make another video. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you liked The Walking Dead, if you liked this little chit chat about the episode. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos, and tell your friends, and I will see you next time. Bye!